Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So, as you may know, I've reviewed a lot of motorcycles over the years on this channel, and I really was at a peak at doing that just before COVID hit, and it kind of annihilated everything. Well, as you may have seen recently, I'm really trying to pick that back up. I'm trying to get through as many bikes as I possibly can. But as I've explained before, because I don't do the press days, because I turn all those down, I get offered them. Well, they've slowed down offering me them now because they know I just say no. The way that I review bikes is I want the bike in my hands with no one telling me where I can or can't go or what I can and can't do, any of that controlled ride, because the press days, as I've talked about in a video called Why I Don't Do Press Days, just end up producing the same video again and again and again and again, and it doesn't feel like the most genuine review you're going to get. So that's why I do it the way I do it. And that also means it's tricky for me to get hold of lots of different types of bikes. And for that reason, some of you very, very kind people have made offers to me over the years, but much more increasingly recently, to borrow your bike to do a review on. And I have to say no to every single one of these people, and I always make sure that I write a long enough email that they understand that I am very appreciative of what they've offered me there. I do not undervalue that at all. Someone lending you your pride and joy to make a video on, it's a serious compliment, and I take it exactly as it is. And I mean, I've been offered everything from, you know, scooters and stuff that people I haven't been able to get hold of, for instance, up to some extremely expensive bikes. So I have to say no to all of them for one simple reason. Well, there's two, but the main one, the actual one that stops me, is the fact that when I ride someone else's bike, I'm covered by third-party insurance only. You know, for my own bikes, it's business use, all of that. I can do whatever I want with them. But when it comes to, and I'm fully but when it comes to someone else's bike, it is third-party only. So if I make a mistake, and because I come from the background of if you break it, you bought it, I can't financially risk riding those bikes. It's not worth me doing it. So as I say, I have to say no every single time, and it kind of sucks because I've had some opportunities to ride some amazing bikes. And I know some people are going to say something like, well, you could set up an insurance policy. Look, trust me, this is my job, this is my career. I have been doing this a long time. If it was feasible, I would be doing it. Benefit of the doubt, please. That is why, as I say, I have to say no to all of them. But I really do appreciate that you've offered. The second reason that isn't quite as pivotal, but is definitely still there, is the fact that if I ride a bike from a company or a dealership and I say what I do and don't like about it, I don't care. I'm not hurting the company's feelings. I'm not hurting the manufacturer's feelings. It is what it is. But when it is your bike, when it is your pride and joy, even though you may say to me, look, don't worry if you crash it, I don't care. Look, say whatever you want, I don't care. It will still be in the back of my head, and I may not be able to get that out, and it may make me think less of some problems, maybe. I'm not saying I would do that. I could quite easily make a video and just really hurt your feelings if I didn't like the bike. But I'm not about to do that, and I'm aware of what problems can come with that, so I just don't go down that road. But again, I really appreciate that people would trust me and want to help me like that. Now, this is when it leads me on to how will I actually get more bikes to ride. Every time I do a review, I get comments of, I can't wait for you to do this, I'm looking forward to when you can do that, are you going to do this, are you going to do that? At this point in time, I can get Suzuki's, I can get electric bikes, and I can get some of the Chinese cheaper bikes, and from some randoms from Andy Sills, I'll get the electrics from English Electric. It's like Energica Zeros and stuff like that. Anyway. I can't get Triumph anymore because they don't reply to my emails. I cannot get Yamaha because although we seem to be on quite good terms through social media, just comments and stuff occasionally, they know that I won't do road tests, and they do respect that. I've never seen a bike come out of it. Same with Honda and all the other brands. There's also the fact that there is many, many, many motorcycle shops around this country who would love to have some promotion, and we could come to an agreement of you lend me a bike for a few days, you get promotion in return, or I borrow bikes for a few hours like I do with Hazelmere. That's how I do get bikes. Now, the reason I say all that, getting to my point, it's far better if you ask the company to lend me the bike than it is for me to ask the company to lend me the bike. Now imagine, the person working for that company, someone comes on and goes, I've got a YouTube channel, I want you to lend me this bike. I have to sort of big myself up and come across in a way and, try and be likable and blah 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 blah. It makes complete financial sense to any company that does this. It's the cheapest, most direct marketing you'll ever get, but you have to convince them to do it. Now, if I go to them and ask, that is taken, as I say, very differently to if you put in social media or somewhere, hey, you should lend Spicy 110 one of these. I'd really like to see Spicy's opinion on this, or something like that. If you ask the company to lend me the bike, and multiple people do that, it is 1,000 times more likely to actually end up in my hands than if I ask. So if you want to see me ride a certain bike, if you want me to review a certain bike, and you want to help me out, then rather than asking me to ask them, you ask them to lend it to me, because that has so much more power. It's not me being lazy, it's just so much more likely to actually work. As I'm on a kind of random subject here, I'm going to continue this just to explain a principle that I think a few people don't quite understand, including people who use the system. A lot of people don't seem to understand how Patreon works or what the deal is, so I'm going to very quickly explain it. Patreon is basically a post distribution site, and I can put posts on there and give you links to videos and things. I have 3 tiers. One's $1 a month, one's like $5 a month, and the last one's like $10 a month. You get the exact same thing for each 3 tiers. There's no extra benefits. It's just that I had just one at $1, and people didn't realise that they could up it, because some people said, oh, I'd love to give you like $2 or $3 a month. It's well worth it. And I'm like, well, just change your pledge then. And they're like, I can't do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. You go in and manually change it to whatever you see fit. So because of that reason, I made a 1, 5 and 10. I think it's that many. And it's just to make that side of it easier. Anyway, so this is a way that you can support this channel, because the money I earn through YouTube itself alone is not great. I currently earn less than minimum wage, to be completely clear with you, and I put a lot of money in fuel into bikes to go and review them. So I really do need the support of the audience to do this. Now, as I say, that's what Patreon is. What's something people don't quite understand is that the benefits you get with that are ad-free watching of the video early. Now, I would say the Q&A, but we are way out of date with getting a Q&A done because of how much stuff has been going on recently. I need to do that, but also the interest in it had gone away. But it also means you get access to the Discord, you can message me, and as I say, it is what makes this channel possible. The aspect of this that a lot of people don't seem to understand is that the video that you watch on Patreon is the same video that people on YouTube will watch later. Basically, the video goes up onto YouTube. I can make that watchable through a link, through a thing called it being unlisted, which means it's there, it's viewable, the link, but no one else can find it, it won't show up. It's not until I make it public a few days after that, that everyone else gets to see it. And it's only at the point that I make it public to everyone else that I put the ads on it. So when you watch it through the link I post on Patreon, it is the same video. If you leave a comment on it or a like on it, it's still going to be there when the video goes live. However, it won't have any ads on it at that point in time. Also, a lot of people don't realise that because it plays through YouTube, it will show up in your YouTube history. So for instance, if you've only got Patreon on your phone, but you're also signed into YouTube and you want to watch my videos on your TV, if that's the thing you do, what you can do is start watching it through Patreon, go to YouTube, so it opens it in the YouTube app, and you just click on the bottom of the video where it says YouTube to do that. That'll take it into your YouTube. Then close that down, go into your TV, go to history, and right there will be my video that you can watch on your big screen. If you comment on it, if you like on it, it's still going to be the same thing when that video goes live. That's something that a lot of people, including my patrons, don't seem to get. And it's why a lot of people didn't realise I make it ad-free during the few days, or you know, it's a minimum of 3 days unless it's a really time sensitive video. Then sometimes, you know, maybe a handful of times a year I'll push a video early. The GSX-S, the Dash 8, I'm just going to call it, the new Suzuki Dash 8. That video went early because it's time sensitive, because lots and lots of people would like to see that, and there isn't much competition out there at the moment, and I have to try and do everything I can to play with the YouTube algorithm that is just the bane of my life. You know, people leave comments like, oh, you've got 100,000 subscribers, but this video's only got 2,000 views. This seems like you've bought subs. And it's like, yes, okay, I bought my subs slowly over 10 years and 2,000 videos. Oh, I'm doing so well with 100,000 subs after 2,000 videos and 10 years of my life invested into it. Don't get me wrong here. I'm very happy where I am. I'd like to be doing a little bit better so I can actually move into my own place at some point, but the way that the YouTube system works is really annoying, because you've got 100,000 people that said I want to watch more videos from this person, and you think when I upload a video, YouTube's going to actually supply that to your inbox every single time. That is not the case. The way that it works is this: when I upload a video, it goes to maybe a few hundred a view. Now, depending on how quickly you jump on the video, how quickly you like it, if you engage with it and stuff like that, how much of it you watch, would dictate how it's delivered to the next set of people. So if I go up with a video that does really well to start with, then it goes to the next step and that does really well, and it gets the next step and then that does really well, then it might go like to the chance of going to a lot of my subscribers. But unless it does exceptionally well, the algorithm is not going to push it to many of my subscribers, and it's just not going to get recommended to people, and it's just not going to get seen. I try my hardest to produce good, valuable content that's real world and will help you in life, you know, with getting a bike and stuff, or maybe it's something else, fixing things, or just giving you entertainment, you know, taking your mind off things. And it's only through me hoping that people see the value in that and then supporting this channel that this is going to be sustainable long-term wise. Sorry to talk about all that sort of stuff like that, but it's the reality of it. I'm now at the beginning of the summer. I'm going to be shoving a ton of fuel through this bike, and it is very difficult to make it make financial sense. This is definitely a passion project, but it has to sustain me in my life. And with the struggle of the past few years and trying to just keep going and do it the right way, yeah, it's a real struggle, and it makes you question, like, what am I doing? What should I be doing? But I feel like I should be doing this, but it's difficult to maintain that. But I'm doing well so far, so please, if you want to help this channel, you can do things like watching the videos, which obviously you're doing right now, liking the videos when you watch them, supporting the channel through different ways, Patreon and all of that, and there's also ways through merch. And it really is individuals that make the difference, because, for instance, I have about 300 people that support this channel through Patreon. They are the ones who make this channel absolutely possible. But it's very difficult to keep people on Patreon. I used to have around 400 patrons, just under, and then because of everything that happened over the past few years, it's been very difficult to keep 300 as a total. And if I look at the overall people that have ever been a member of my Patreon over the years, it's around 700 or 800 people, if I remember rightly, which means that there is about 500 odd people that did support this channel at some point that no longer do. Now, I thought that I'd priced my Patreon in a way that most people wouldn't notice the difference, you know, it's $1 a month, but evidently things have been tougher than I could have even conceived. I can't make Patreon any cheaper. It's literally, that's the cheapest I can make it. I could increase the minimum cost of my Patreon to, say, $2 or $3, and even if I lost half the people, I'd still be earning as much money for it, so it would financially make more sense to do the greedier route of making Patreon more expensive, because the people who are willing to support me, it's getting someone to support you is far harder than getting someone to pay $1 or $4 to support the channel. It's about getting people wanting to and being on the channel and onto Patreon and going through the rigmarole of setting up an account and all that stuff. I get it. I'm sorry I have to go into all of that again, but I am a small channel, right? I would call myself a struggling creator. It's tricky, man. It's really tricky. I will say here, actually, there is quite a few people who are on my Patreon who don't actually watch my videos early. They only watch them when they come to YouTube when they've got ads on them, but they don't care. There's also people on my Patreon who, and I'm sorry to say this, they don't watch my videos very religiously, but they appreciate my channel and want to help it and really want to be in the Discord, I think. So they basically pay to be in the Discord because it's such a good group of people, and they also support the channel at the same time. I think that's the way it works for some of them, because they don't watch the content, but they still support me, and I really do appreciate that. In fact, if I upload a video to Patreon, it's probably only going to get about 30 views before I make it live. 30 of 300 is 10%. So you get this really weird disparity about how this channel is actually funded. 90% of the people that pay for Patreon don't watch it, and only 1% of the audience pay for Patreon. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you know, you might have learned something about how YouTube works, and I'm just telling you the fundamental truths. I'm not trying to, you know, gain sympathy or anything like that. I just want people to understand the value in what I offer and support it if they want to. Anyway, as I say, links below. I'll catch you in the next one.